Okay, so the ingredients we're going to be needing are, this is 2 leftover salmon steaks that were grilled, 3 cloves of garlic sliced, this is 3 green onions sliced, some eggs, doesn't matter, it depends on how many people are eating. This is 3 potatoes that I sliced and they're now boiling. For the spices, we have some chili powder, some cumin seed, some cumin powder, salt, pepper, oregano, paprika, and I'm using some of this uzu paste today, just a tiny bit, and also some butter and olive oil. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I just drained the potatoes. They're tender, they're still tender, they're not completely cooked through, but they're almost cooked through. And I cut them into these shapes. You cut it into whatever shape you prefer for hash, but this is the one that I like. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm getting my pan heated. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of butter, and some olive oil. It's probably like 2 tablespoons. And then the first thing that I like to do is I like to toast my cumin seeds just slightly and the oregano a little bit because I like the flavor that it gives. Okay, so this is about 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. And about 1 teaspoon of oregano. That will just bring out the spice a bit. I'm going to add my green onion and my garlic. And I'm just going to let this saute for maybe about a minute. Alright, now I'm going to add my potatoes. I drained them pretty well. Okay, so at this point I'm going to add the rest of my spices. I'm going to add some chili powder. This is not cayenne, it's like, you know, chili powder kind of that you would put in if you were making tacos. That was probably like 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to add a little bit more cumin. I'm going to add in some paprika for color. And for flavor, that was about 1 teaspoon. And I'm going to add in salt and pepper, good amount of salt, probably about 1 teaspoon more. But this is all to taste, you know, because it's a sort of throw together meal. Okay, and then last, this stuff is really potent. If you don't have this, just don't add it in. Maybe just add a little bit of cayenne. It's really hot, this stuff. I'm going to add in just like the tiniest amount. Take that off for a second. Mix that in with everything. Okay, now here's the part where you want to get caramelization. So what you do is you just try to put the potatoes in the pan. That's why you need a nice big pan for this. And a cast iron skillet would be preferable. So you want to flatten it out. Okay. That's why you need butter also. And you want to raise the heat. Okay, pretty high, but not so it's burning. And you want to let this cook probably at least 2 to 3 minutes on this side, and then you're going to flip it and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's ready to be turned over, but I'm just going to hit it with a few drops of Tabasco sauce first. I want some of the heat in there and also some of the sort of acidicness from the vinegar that's in the Tabasco also. Okay, so I'm just going to try to flip this, and you see how it has like a nice caramelization? Just do the best you can. It's not a, perfect thing. And I'm just going to do the same step that I did last time. Just try to flatten it out a bit, even out the potatoes. Okay. And don't touch it, and let it crisp up on this side as well for about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, here's the last step. I just let this go. I'm flipping it over one last time. And basically, this is really all there is to this technique of hash browns. So you can keep doing this to your to how dark you like it. And because I feel like mine is almost finished, I'm going to add the salmon in now because I don't want the salmon to overcook. I just broke it into little pieces. So I'm going to add the salmon in. I also added salt and more paprika because I tasted it and I felt like it needed more salt. So the last thing I'm going to do is just add a tiny squeeze of lemon juice, just a little bit. And you can add some parsley, and of course you don't have to use salmon, you can use any leftovers that you have, chicken, turkey of course, really anything that you have. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off, and now I'm going to show you how to make a poach. What you're going to need for poaching an egg is a little bit of lemon juice, or you can use a little bit of white vinegar, a spoon, and I like to use a little dish, and that's where I put my egg in there. Okay, so I just want to show you that I have my water to a simmer. That's how you want your water, okay? And this is how I make a poached egg. It's worked for me every time, so I'm going to stick to this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop some lemon juice in there. And what that helps do is when you put the egg in there and you swirl it around, it will help to keep most of the egg white intact with the yolk. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully drop the egg in. That's why I like to use this bowl, because I feel like you need to be really careful with this process, and if I just cracked it in there I would probably ruin the whole process. So, just going to bring it up a little bit higher of a simmer, and you have to have your spoon ready, and you drop it in and you stir around the egg quickly. Don't stir into the egg, just stir around the edge of the pan. Alright, so let me show you what that looks like. I'll try to raise this. Okay, so we lost some egg white, as you can see, but most of it is there, and that's good. That's what you want. So now you're going to let this poach for just 2 minutes if you want it runny. If you want it a little bit, the yolk a little bit firm, maybe 3 minutes, and I guess if you want it completely cooked through the yolk, you would boil it for about 4 minutes. So I'm going to keep watching this, make sure it's just simmering the whole time. You don't want it boiling. And then after that, you just remove it and you're done. Okay, so I think my first one is ready. So I'm going to carefully use a slotted, this is a spatula, you can use a spoon, and another spoon just to help lift it on there. And it's done, and it's perfectly cooked. I know it's runny in the middle. You could even poke it and feel, but I know that it's firm on the outside, and that's perfect. That's what you want. So if you use this method, hopefully it should work for you just as well as it works for me. And I'm going to wait for the excess water to drip off, and then I'm going to put this over my hash. And it just, you ready?
Where are you going with this? Yeah, that's better.
Well, you can get me in there.